Internal drama erupting within the Conservative Party here in Canada. Who would have thought Erin O'Toole saying fair winds to Anita Anand of the Liberal Party would cause such a ruckus, with Jenni Byrne, Poilievre's advisor, saying, shut up. Let's get right on into it. Erin O'Toole said, I saw the dedication of Anita brought to the national defense at a time it was desperately needed. She cared deeply about the CAF, the Canadian Armed Forces, their families, and the need for Canada to do more. I wish her fair winds and following seas. Canadian flag emoji. That's all he said. That's the tweet. And Jenni had this to say about it. For anyone unsure why Erin is no longer leader of the Conservative Party, she supported DEI policies like name, rank, and pronouns, tampons in men's rooms, etc. And then points down to his tweet. This caused quite a ruckus within the party and as well as those outside of the party. Jenni Byrne, those who don't know her, she is very well decorated and very well respected within the political circles in Ottawa. She served in a major capacity on the 2006, 2008, and 2011 campaigns with Stephen Harper, was a principal secretary to Doug Ford. Then she went and started her own consultancy, Jenni Byrne & Associates. So she's been around, well-traveled, knows what she's talking about, and very effective in knowing how to operate campaign strategy. Again, she worked with Harper in the 06, 08, and 2011, and also the 2015 campaigns. She's very familiar with winning and knowing what it takes to win. She left the party and then joined the Ontario work with Doug Ford. And in the time that she was not a part of the Conservative Party, Andrew Scheer and then Erin O'Toole proceeded to lose to Trudeau in elections that they had no business losing in. Then Jenni Byrne entered the fold, helping out with Poilievre. And now, here we are. This is the divide that we are seeing currently in the Conservative Party. We have people like myself who are kind of over being nice. It's time for nice is over. It's time. The Liberals have clearly been bending the rules, breaking the rules, and taking advantage of every good faith loophole in the system. So being nice and just being like, oh, those crazy Liberals, it's just not enough anymore. And that's what Andrew Scheer was the approach that he took in some degree. But that's definitely the approach Erin O'Toole took. He's a red Tory through and through. He's just a Liberal in blue clothing. And that was shown within that campaign. He was just a nice guy. And from what I've heard from people in his circles and those who have talked to him and dealt with him, he's legitimately a nice guy. He's awesome to go get a beer with and have a chat with. But he's not the guy to save our country from the likes of Trudeau, unfortunately. And that's what's caused such an issue. And what's led us is this mentality in the Conservative Party was so pervasive. And the mentality that led the party for so long and what has allowed Trudeau to keep winning in these elections on a minority basis. So when Jenni Byrne came back from the fold, the gloves were off. She wasn't playing. And Poilievre was someone she aligned with because he had the personality of someone that she could work with. Poilievre was a candidate who was ready and able to start calling out the party that's completely degraded Canada and its values. Erin O'Toole wasn't that guy. And there was a lot of tension within the party over Erin O'Toole. That's why he got thrust out of the party so badly the way he did. He was done after that election. Conservatives were over it. Conservatives realized they needed to take off the gloves and start fighting back. And Erin O'Toole was not ready to do that. Poilievre was, and he asked Jenni Byrne to join him. And the thing with Jenni, as we see here, she's a lot like me. She likes to speak first and ask questions later. And a lot of cases, people can really appreciate that quality. But the reality is, Canada is not X. Canada isn't Twitter. Canada isn't social media. Moderate voters get turned off by this type of behavior. And I'm not saying this tweet is going to make or break Poilievre's campaign and Poilievre's bid to be prime minister. It's not going to happen. However, it is a needle mover as he moves on within his term. It's stuff like this that will come back to bite him because moderate Canadians do want someone who's going to do the work. But the problem with Canadians is we are nice. We're nice people. We don't want to rock the boat too much. And stuff like this kind of turns those people off. I would agree. Jenni Byrne here, out of line, unnecessary. However, it doesn't take away from what she said was true. Erin O'Toole allowed the Liberals to keep running away with these crazy policies that ruined our country in the process. And trying to play nice with these Liberals is not the way to go. I hate to say it. I hate to break it to you, but that is the reality. If this was 2010, different story. All sides of the House wanted the best for Canada. But right now, we've seen over these 9 years, there is a party who's in power right now, propped up by an NDP party, an unofficial coalition with the Liberals, who at every turn have voted and advocated for policies that directly fly in the face of Canadian interests. So right now, it's not two sides of the House looking for the best of Canadians. No, there's one side of the House fighting for Canada and the other who's drastically trying to undermine it every which way they can. So it goes back to the point. The time for nice is over. And Jenni was calling out the nice in the way she does it. Time for being nice is over. That's why Erin O'Toole is not the leader of the party anymore. He keeps trying to win everybody over, trying to make everyone like him. The time for that is over. We can't afford that. And we heard that in Poilievre's interview with Jordan Peterson. You're not going to win the other side over. Stop trying to. Just act what's in the best interest of trying to get the country back on good terms, and we'll be okay. That's the focus. That's what it should be. That's what Jenni was calling out here in the most Jenni Byrne way possible. But I'll show you what I mean, because liberals took exception to this post and are posting all about it over X. Mark Miller said some classlessness from Pierre Poilievre's top advisor towards former Conservative leader Erin O'Toole, who was just one more veteran they screwed over. And I'm going to go through all these tweets, and I want you to catch the theme throughout all of them. Talib, Nur Mohammed, more decency in one tweet than the current Conservative leader has in his entire person. Thank you, sir. Ryan Turnbull, the prize for pettiest tweet goes to Jenni Byrne. What on earth could she have to gain by insulting O'Toole for showing some decency to Anita Anand? This is the Conservative Party, Poilievre and Byrne, literally bringing out the worst in everything and everyone. Anthony Housefather says, I always enjoyed and appreciated working with Erin O'Toole and appreciate that he demonstrates the civility and respect that should be the norm in Canadian politics. What is the theme here you see? Liberals saying, oh, we loved O'Toole. It was great working with him. In other words, he made our job so easy. He was a doormat. That is what's being read between the lines here. That's why the liberals love him so much. That's why the left loves him so much. Because he was a doormat who made their jobs very easy. And how they so wish they could have someone like that leading the Conservatives again so they could just do whatever they want. Love him or hate him. Poilievre is not a pushover. Poilievre is fighting tooth and nail against everything this Liberal Party is doing because everything they've proven to do has been screwing over Canadians. So we have a tough opposition party now. And again, 2019 with Andrew Scheer, he got a little too caught up in trying to insult Trudeau, and Canada wasn't there yet. Canada just wasn't there yet. All really Scheer needed to do, from my perspective, was run a good, solid, policy-focused campaign, and then compared and contrasted what the Liberals had done the previous 4 years, he would have won. Look, Liberals barely won a minority in that as well. That election. Erin O'Toole, COVID had happened. People were frustrated. People were annoyed. The truckers had descended upon Ottawa. And O'Toole was just playing nice in the House. He was a weak opposition leader. Thus, he got ousted immediately. He was replaced by an interim Conservative leader, and the Conservatives went to a leadership race immediately after that. He was a weak opposition leader in a time where we needed strong opposition. That's why he was ousted. And that's why Liberals miss him, because he made their jobs easier. But that's a microcosm, just a microcosm of how the Liberals on the outside viewed the situation. MPs upon MPs upon MPs commented on this, and they all had the same relative thing to say, the same theme we saw through this. Erin O'Toole is such a good guy. He didn't deserve this. There's no decency in the Conservative Party anymore. So it came really interesting when O'Toole's campaign chair came forward, denouncing what Jenni Byrne had to say, and virtually saying that it was unbecoming. Waleed Solomon said, to all the young people involved in the Conservative Party of Canada and politics in Canada generally, this is exactly how not to behave in those inevitably fleeting moments when you feel like you are on top. Be humble in leadership. Jenni, as one of our party's current leaders, you should take this down. Red Tories, self-censoring, telling other party members to take their tweets down. And this is why Erin O'Toole was so deeply unpopular within the Conservative Party. They were just liberals dressed in blue clothing. Campaign chair, advocating for censorship, telling her to take it down. It was disrespectful. Take it down. And well, Jenni's a fighter. There's a reason why her and Poilievre get along, and I've been putting together such a strong strategy because this is what she had to say in response. Waleed, were you not the campaign chair for Erin that came out publicly with 5 hours left to go in the polls in 2021 to say the CPC were losing and it was not your fault? As volunteers and candidates across the country were polling vote after an exhausting campaign, I need no lessons in leadership from you. Oh, gee. And Waleed responded with, trust me, you don't want to start down this road, Jenni. Be better. If Jenni Byrne's representative of Pierre Poilievre at all, if people are taking that approach, then Waleed is representative of Erin O'Toole's values. And when you end off a post saying, be better, it's just, you're a liberal. You're a liberal claiming to be conservative. That's the reality. It's okay to admit it, but that's why that wing of the party became deeply unpopular by the majority because they were soft. Don't get me wrong. There was a time and place for red Tories. There are. But now is not it. We need a strong opposition who is willing to fight and give their best. And that's why Erin got ousted the way he did. It was unceremonial, but it was necessary at the time. It's something that I agreed with. It was soft. Ottawa was in chaos at the time with the trucker convoy. House of Commons. Those are some of the craziest question periods. It was wild. And then they see the Conservatives way more decisive than Liberals. I'll tell you that much. Oh yeah, the difference is the Conservative Party actually have mechanisms in place to oust a leader, which Liberals don't have. It's wild. It was a wild time. And that is where we find ourselves. We have two pit bulls at the top of the Conservative Party. You have Pierre Poilievre and Jenni Byrne, his top advisor. But to boot, you have Pierre Poilievre's right-hand woman, Melissa Lantsman, speak on this post by Jenni Byrne. Looks like the Twitter sphere is having a meltdown about the best political organizer in the business, and it's not even close. When she took a break, this party was in shambles. When people counted her out, she was right. And when she came back into the fold, her advice has led to a complete meltdown of the Liberal government who just stuck Canadians with their pathetic political drama in the middle of a national crisis. The party is run by pit bulls now who are willing to fight, because that's what we need at the moment. And I'm sure behind the scenes, Poilievre is like, he's enjoying his poutine in Quebec at the moment, enjoying life and seeing this erupt. He's like, we love you, Jenni. We love what you bring. But we might just have to cool it down a little bit here. Just cool it down a bit. We don't have to tweet everything that comes into our mind. But I love her chutzpah. I love what she brings to the pet table. But yeah, there might be some tact that's needed at times. But that's the drama that's unfolding in the Conservative Party. That is what's been happening. The Liberals are trying to launch and jump on something to distract from what's happening in 7 days. 25% tariffs, baby. It's going to be rough. So naturally, they're going to latch onto the random drama in the Conservative Party to distract from their awful record. That's it for me. Have yourselves a great day. I'm out.